Yeah, and also, I mean, one of the interesting things at COP, I don't know if you heard about it, but the host president, Sultan Al Jaber, was in a conversation with Mary Robinson, who's one of the elders, and a couple of other women, and they were doing sort of like Catherine McKenna style, women are kicking it on climate.
Oh, God,
like,
that's
we're
so
the ones who are
cringy.
changing the world, right? And so he confronted them directly and said, listen, there is no path to keeping temperatures below 1.5 degrees Celsius by phasing out fossil fuels, and we'll all end up living in caves. And I mean, this was like, how could it be,
Right.
And Elizabeth May tweeted, you see, he showed his true colors. He's just an oil guy. And it's like, Elizabeth May, how did you get there? He's a realist. He's a chemical engineer by training and an economist. And I believe he got his scholarship to go to university in the States via the oil company, the national oil company there. So, and he lives in this magnificent city of Dubai, built in the desert, literally from the sands, right, into this fantastic city. So anyway, we did a little explainer about that. We called it Shock at COP. And we just posted it the day before yesterday. It's already got 4,000 views. But it gives you very good insights into the reality check that he threw, like a cat among the pigeons at everybody there. And they're all in shock. Like, how can it be? But he's right.
Yeah, of course he's right. Like I said, I just got home from Dubai. And it is it's an amazing place where if you can dream it, they will build it. And it is this place of just absolute industry. And it's like a city of the future with bullet trains and massive buildings and glass everywhere. And it is only made possible through the opulence and wealth and reliable energy of fossil fuels. And so I don't know what the UN thought that they were going to get going to this benevolent dictatorship of the UAE and thinking, these people here are totally going to adopt our ways of the future. I think the UAE is one of those places where you can showcase renewables because they work in that climate, and also how energy wealth does wonderful things for both an economy but a society.
Yeah, really. I mean, and one of the great things is there's so many pictures on Shutterstock and Adobe Stock, literally of the desert and the city right behind it. Yeah. So, if all those COP activists had to go out in the desert for a day or two without the conveniences of Dubai, they'd be begging for help within a couple of hours.
Yeah, I mean, they did that in Morocco. They built an entire disposable city right next door to Marrakesh. And you went inside this little disposable city that was made of plastic. It was all just sort of plastic quonsets and climate controlled buildings. And once you got inside, you couldn't see outside. It was like this magical bubble where the temperature was so low that I came home with a cold. Like, that's how high they had the air conditioning cranked up to make it comfortable for the people telling you that you have to have a low flow toilet in your house. Bizarre.
Yeah, well, that's also one of the ironies of this year's COP is the UNEP just put out a report on air conditioning and how bad it is and how they want to find other ways to cool the world.
In the UAE.
It's like, come on, you guys, like, wake up. It's just crazy.
I'm
anyway, have you seen Dr. Vipon there?
Oh, no, yes.
Dr. Vipon showed up at an environmental defense conference the other day wearing some kind of what do you call that for horses?
Oh.
A feed bag on his face. So I guess he was trying to show that he's a medical doctor, but he couldn't really do that on the panel. Here when they were doing coal phase out, he kept showing up in his scrubs and stethoscope around his neck like, hey, I just left Emerge and here I am to advocate for coal phase out. But he did manage to do a little bit of street theater. He's got a huge plastic earth that he was doing CPR on the other day because he took his his white coat with him and his stethoscope. So anyway, and he was front page news for Climate News, walking down the street in his white lab coat and the earth, the big plastic earth on his shoulder.
Plastic earth. You know, these people with their God complexes, hey? Like walking around like Atlas with the earth on his shoulders. Oh, hey, what you just saw there is a clip from my weekly full-length show, The Gunn Show. It airs on Wednesday, but this is the internet. You can watch it whenever you feel like. You just have to become a subscriber to our paywalled premium content. Just go to rebelnewsplus.com to become a member today.